Hi, I'm Ruth from Ruth's Hemp Foods, and guess what we have today? Vegan gravy. Really great vegan, gluten-free gravy so that you can all have a lovely Thanksgiving. To make this, we have several ingredients. Miso, this is my beautiful tradition miso. I adore this. It's fermented and delicious. An onion, we're only going to use half. Nutritional yeast. If you don't know what nutritional yeast is, find out because it's amazing, tastes great in a lot of things, and a great source of B vitamins. By the way, this is inactive yeast. If you have candida and you're worried about yeast, don't worry about nutritional yeast. It's inactive, does not affect candida. Vegetable broth. I like the organic vegetable broth. You can use anything you like. This is what we're using. Always Celtic sea salt, my favorite, super mineral rich sea salt. And best ingredient, Chia, our wonderful raw goodness chia. Plain chia seeds, great for thickening. You can put it in almost anything, and today we're going to show you how you can put it in gravy to make it thick and delicious. Okay, we're going to start by sauteing the onions. So turn on your stove to medium. I'm lucky because I have a gas stove. I'm using organic olive oil. You can use, any kind of oil that you like. I have made this with coconut oil, which I adore, but it's a little bit sweet for this recipe. I've minced up my onion here, kind of semi-fine, and we're going to start now by just sauteing the onion. So, okay, over medium heat. I only used half of a medium-sized onion, and we're just going to saute that a little in the oil, and as soon as it's translucent, we'll start adding other things. Okay, so now our onions are relatively translucent, and I'm going to add nutritional yeast. Nutritional yeast is a fabulous way to have a nice savory taste in vegetarian or vegan food. I'm going to put in 3 tablespoons, and you'll note that I'm using an actual tablespoon. After you're used to making this, you can just toss in whatever you want, but it's a guideline. And then we'll stir that up a little. And so it'll saute a little bit with the onions. It'll see how it's absorbing a bit of the oil. And I'm also going to put in some pepper. And some of my fabulous Celtic sea salt, just a pinch. Stir the whole thing together. At this point, if you like flavors like curry or cumin or any of that, or sage to be more Thanksgiving-like, or thyme or whatever, this is a good time to add whatever spices you like. I happen to like it pretty much just like this. And it doesn't look like it's cooking now, but it is. It's just kind of absorbing, and we're going to let it toast like that for just very short time, just a few, 30 seconds or so. And then, okay, so I'm going to add about a half cup of vegetable broth. You may have the type that you have to mix up in hot water. I often have that. I just happen to have the other today. Whichever type you use is fine. And of course, this all bubbles up when you add it in. Stir it up so there's not little bits around. And then we're going to pretty much immediately add in our chia. And again, I'm going back to the tablespoon, and I'm going to put 2 tablespoons of chia for a start. And you have to stir that fairly quickly, or it gets all clumpy. Weird, nobody likes clumpy gravy. And the chia, as anytime you're using chia, it'll make it thicker and thicker and thicker, but it takes a couple of minutes to really kind of get a little bit softer and have the right effect. So what I'm actually going to do now, believe it or not, is turn it to very low, as low as this can go, so that the chia can soften up in there. And we're going to give it just a couple of minutes, and then we'll see how thick it is, and we can modulate from there. Now you can see this is pretty thick. In fact, it's a little thicker than I want, so I'm going to turn the heat up again and just add a little bit more. I have another half a cup ready, and I'm going to add just a little bit of that and stir it in. Remember, the longer you leave chia, the thicker everything gets. So we're going to stir it in. Looking good. And when the chia's soft, like after a few minutes, and it's pretty much the consistency you want, And this is kind of nice for gravy. It could be maybe just a tiny bit thinner again. So, you know, use your best judgment. You know what you're looking for in gravy. Mostly delicious taste, and we're going to get that anyway. Now let's just let that heat for a minute. And I do have my miso here that's all ready. Just put in the miso at the end. You know, it's more for taste than for anything. I mean, of course, there's many wonderful things to love about miso, but in this case, since we're actually cooking with it as an ingredient, it won't come off my spoon, we're putting it in primarily for taste and a little bit for color. So put that in towards the end, stir it in really well. You have to get in there because it's all pasty. And then our wonderful vegan gluten-free gravy is going to be ready for your mashed potatoes and parsnips and rutabaga and tofu and whatever else you're making. You know, I do have a recipe for hand-crusted rutabaga, which we should make sometime because it's really phenomenal. And of course the gravy would taste wonderful over those. And what do you think, Nikki? Does it look ready to you?
Yeah, it looks great.
Should we give it a taste?
Sure.
It's a little bit of miso on the spoon, but I think it'll be fine. You want to taste first? Be the guinea pig. It's hot.
That's really good.
Bring on the mashed potatoes.
Yeah. Wow.
Here you go. Gluten-free vegan gravy for Thanksgiving. Remember to give thanks.